Think about planting a tree. You don't wake up one morning and see it towering over the yard. You water it, feed it, make sure it's protected from storms, and day by day, month by month, it grows. The growth may seem invisible at first, but in a few years, that small seed has become something mighty. Life works the same way. The results you want, better health, improved relationships, financial growth, they all start with tiny, consistent steps. Consider the daily habits you take for granted. Reading 10 pages of a good book each day doesn't seem like much. 10 pages. Not 10 chapters, not a whole book, just 10 pages. But if you do it every day for a year, that's over 3,500 pages of learning. Imagine the advantage that knowledge gives you, and that's just one small action. When combined with another tiny action, making your bed, saving a few dollars, walking 10 minutes a day, the effects multiply. Most people underestimate this. They want a miracle. They hope for an instant solution. Yet success doesn't arrive fully formed. It arrives quietly, through repeated, seemingly insignificant victories. Each day, you do what you said you would do. You gain a small win. Each time you resist a temptation that pulls you off course, you earn a small win. Each time you invest in your skills, your network, or your health, you earn a small win. And the surprising thing is that these wins grow faster than you can imagine. Now, here's the catch. Compounding works against you just as easily as it works for you. A missed workout here, a wasted hour there, a habit ignored, these are the small losses that silently grow. They aren't dramatic in the moment, but over months and years, they can bury you under regret. The difference between success and failure is not in the big decisions alone. It's in the daily choices, the small wins that either accumulate or erode your potential. So today, I want you to notice the power of your small wins. I want you to take them seriously. You don't need a grand plan or a perfect strategy. You need consistency. You need attention to detail. You need the discipline to respect the small things. Because those small things, when compounded over time, deliver results that the big, flashy effort alone could never produce. Success is not a single event. It's a series of small victories, carefully nurtured day after day. The compounding effect will take care of the rest. Let's dig into the foundation of small wins. The key is understanding that success is rarely dramatic. Most people expect fireworks, but the truth is quieter, slower, and far more powerful. I remember a young man I met years ago who wanted to transform his life. He didn't start with $1 million business. He started by writing down his goals each morning. 10 minutes. That was his first win. Then he read for 30 minutes a day. That was another win. And each week, he added one more small action. A call to a potential mentor, a budget review, a walk after dinner. Nothing seemed significant on its own. Yet, over a year, his life looked completely different. Small wins build momentum. Think about rolling a heavy snowball. At first, it doesn't move. You push, it resists, and you might wonder if it's worth the effort. But each push adds just a little more speed. Eventually, the snowball rolls down the hill, gathering size and speed, and by the bottom, it's unstoppable. Life works the same way. Small wins create momentum. And momentum, once it begins, makes bigger victories easier to achieve. But momentum doesn't come from intention alone. You need action, repeated and consistent. I often hear people say, I don't have time to improve myself right now. Yet improvement doesn't require hours every day. It requires small, intentional actions. 5 minutes of reflection, 10 minutes of reading, a single phone call, a small deposit in your savings account. These are the actions that, compounded over time, separate the average person from the exceptional. Here's the key. The effect of small wins is exponential, not linear. One small victory today leads to another tomorrow, and then another the next day. Like interest in a bank account, your efforts multiply quietly but powerfully. The key is patience and persistence. You cannot expect a single action to change everything. You cannot expect a single day to define your life. But over weeks, months, and years, the small wins accumulate into something remarkable. So the question isn't whether small wins matter. The question is whether you will commit to them, respect them, and track them. Because when you do, they will build a foundation strong enough to carry you to goals that once seemed unreachable. The real work of success is invisible. It's done in the small victories that others ignore, the things most people consider too small to matter. But those things, when compounded, become the difference between a life of drift and a life of purpose. Most people make the mistake of chasing the dramatic, believing that life-altering results come from massive effort or sudden breakthroughs. They look at success as a mountain peak and think they have to leap straight to the top. But here's the counterintuitive truth. The peak is reached not by leaps, but by careful, repeated steps. The small wins you ignore are the very steps that carry you upward. I've seen it over and over. A young professional wanted to increase his income. He didn't take a giant risk or win the lottery. He began by improving one skill, just a single skill he used at work. Each week he practiced a little more, learned a little more, and applied it. Soon he became noticeably better than his peers. That small, consistent improvement led to better projects, better clients, and eventually promotions. The compounding effect of small wins took him further than any risky shortcut ever could. The fascinating part is how small wins affect your psychology. Each tiny victory fuels confidence. It strengthens discipline. It reinforces the belief that your efforts matter. Conversely, each small loss erodes confidence and makes action more difficult. Think of it like building a muscle. You don't lift 100 pounds on day one. You lift a little over and over and the muscle grows. Small wins are like the reps that strengthen your life's muscles, your willpower, your focus, your consistency. And here's what most people don't realize. Those small wins influence your environment. People notice consistency. They respond to progress, no matter how minor it seems. Your coworkers, your family, your community, they see the person who takes small actions seriously. That perception compounds as well, opening doors and creating opportunities that wouldn't exist if your wins were inconsistent. Now, here's the challenge that we all face from time to time. Humans want instant results. The mind rebels against slow progress. But success demands patience. The small wins may feel insignificant now, but the magic of compounding works silently in the background. That young professional who improved one skill, the friend who made small efforts in a relationship, the person who saved just a little money each month, they all experience an invisible acceleration. Time does the heavy lifting once the small wins are in place. So if you're waiting for something monumental to change your life, you're missing the point. Focus on the small wins. Master them. Respect them. Track them. Because over time, these small victories compound. They accelerate, and they carry you to a life that most people only dream of. And here's the kicker. If you start today, no matter where you are, you can begin to build momentum that will carry into every area of your life. But here's the thing. Theory is only as good as the action it produces. You can understand compounding all you want, but unless you put it into practice, nothing changes. The key is to identify the small wins that matter most in your life and commit to them. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect. Today. How are you managing your money? See, because most people think saving requires large amounts. They wait for a windfall or a bonus. Yet saving, even a tiny fraction, consistently compounds into wealth. Imagine saving just $10 a week. That's not much on its own. But with discipline and over months and years, it grows quietly into a financial cushion that gives freedom and confidence. That's the compounding effect in action. It's the same with learning. You don't have to enroll in an expensive course to improve. 10 minutes of focused study a day, 5 days a week, turns into knowledge you can't ignore. Skills accumulate, ideas build. Before long, you have a library of insight and practical ability that others take years to achieve. Small, consistent actions outweigh occasional bursts of effort every time. Health works the same way. You don't need extreme diets or marathon-level workouts to improve. Start with a single small action. Walk 15 minutes a day, drink 1 more glass of water, add an extra vegetable to your dinner. Do it consistently. Weeks pass, months pass. Your energy rises, your body responds, and you begin to notice momentum taking over. The compounding effect turning small, disciplined actions into noticeable results. Here's the most important point. You must track your wins. Small victories ignored tend to fade in our memory. Write them down, check them off, celebrate them quietly. Each recorded win reinforces your confidence and strengthens the habit. Compounding is not magic, it's methodical. It's invisible until the accumulation becomes undeniable. And once it becomes undeniable, it changes the trajectory of your life entirely. The power of small wins is available to anyone. You don't need extraordinary talent or special luck. You need intention, consistency, and patience. Identify the small actions that matter, commit to them, and let compounding do the rest. The results will come often when you least expect them, quietly transforming your life in ways you once thought impossible. Now we have to talk about obstacles, because we're all going to come across them. Compounding works beautifully when you're consistent, but life will test you. Small wins require discipline in the face of distractions, resistance, and setbacks. This is where most people falter. They start well, take a few steps, then give up when something inconvenient comes along. But the difference between someone who drifts and someone who succeeds is the refusal to let small obstacles derail the momentum of small wins. I've seen it countless times. A young man wanted to write a book. Every day he committed to 300 words. Some days it was difficult. He was tired, distracted, or uninspired, but he pushed through. He kept his small daily goal. Months later, the book was finished. The secret wasn't talent or luck. It was that consistent small win, repeated without fail, even when conditions weren't perfect. The real magic of small wins is how they compound even under pressure. When you meet resistance, each win counts more. A workout on a day you'd rather do nothing compounds stronger than the easy days. A savings deposit made despite an unexpected expense compounds stronger than one made when money is abundant. Discipline in small actions multiplies your results exponentially because life rewards consistency under challenge. Think about the power of timing. The person who invests in skill development when the workplace is demanding will reap even greater advantage later. The employee who strengthens relationships when tension exists builds loyalty that carries them through crises. Every small win during adversity is like extra fuel for momentum. Compounding accelerates most dramatically when consistent action meets resistance. I want you to see this clearly. The compounding effect is not limited to smooth, perfect circumstances. It thrives in struggle. The difference between someone who drifts and someone who succeeds isn't the absence of obstacles. It's the small wins they achieve despite them. It's the daily disciplines that pile up, quietly, imperceptibly, until the results are undeniable. A manager wanted to improve the culture of his team. He started with one small action, a brief word of recognition each morning. Some people resisted, some ignored it, and some days it seemed pointless. Yet he persisted. Each small gesture compounded. Within months, morale shifted, cooperation increased, and results improved. A single, consistent effort and small wins changed the dynamics of an entire team. Obstacles will always appear, but the compounding effect of small wins means that if you refuse to let setbacks stop you, each day's effort is building a future you cannot yet see. The key is to treat small wins like sacred deposits into a life account. Miss one day, and you feel it. Keep the streak, and you feel unstoppable. This is the real leverage of small wins. Consistency under pressure produces results far beyond what most people expect. So ask yourself, when the resistance comes, and it will you take the small step anyway? Will you do what you said you would do, even when life is inconvenient? Because that's when small wins compound fastest, when momentum is forged in the fire of challenge. And that is when you start moving toward a life that most people only dream of. And here's the thing, small wins aren't limited to one area of life. They ripple outward, touching everything you do. Money, health, influence, relationships, personal growth. They all respond to the compounding effect when small wins are applied consistently. The principle is universal. The process is the same. Identify the small action, do it consistently, and let it accumulate. The universality is important. Small wins are not domain specific. The same approach transforms business, relationships, health, finances, and personal fulfillment. It's the accumulation over time that matters more than any individual effort. Life rewards consistency. It magnifies persistent action. That's why small wins are the great equalizer. Anyone, anywhere can apply them and achieve results far beyond what talent or luck alone would produce. Here's a critical insight. When you focus on small wins across multiple areas, the effects multiply even faster. Momentum in one domain often accelerates growth in another. Improved health gives more energy for work. A stronger relationship creates emotional stability to handle challenges. A few dollars saved each week allows reinvestment in skills or education. Compounding is not linear, it's exponential. One small win today can lead to multiple wins in the weeks and months ahead. It all comes back to consistency, focus, and patience. The person who respects the small things, who tracks them, who refuses to be swayed by setbacks, creates a life that is remarkable not because of a single grand act, but because of thousands of small, deliberate wins stacked over time. That is the true power of compounding. That is how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results. Now comes the moment of decision. The truth is this: every day you make a choice. You can take the small step, or you can drift. You can invest in the compounding effect, or you can ignore it. You can commit to the tiny disciplines that lead to extraordinary results, or you can surrender to the illusion that change comes instantly. The difference between a life of drift and a life of achievement is found in the small, deliberate actions you take today. What do you do when you wake up? One person wakes up and turns on the TV. Another person takes 10 minutes to set priorities, review goals, or take a small action toward growth. That single choice compounds throughout the day. It colors decisions, shapes productivity, and determines the trajectory of the week, month, and year. One tiny win in the morning compounds faster than hours of unfocused effort later. Think about what you want in life. Wealth, health, relationships, personal development. They all respond to the small, consistent choices you make. It isn't dramatic leaps that get you there. It's the careful stacking of wins day after day. The person who commits to small wins in every area of life compounds power and potential that cannot be taken away. Here's what we cannot forget. Time is your ally, but only if you respect it. The sooner you start, the more leverage you create. Delays compound as losses, and procrastination is a silent thief. Each day you ignore small wins, you forfeit the quiet growth that builds the foundation for extraordinary results. Start today, and your life accelerates. Wait, and your future slips quietly out of reach. The small wins you commit to are your legacy. They are not temporary. They accumulate into the life you live, the habits you carry, the relationships you build, and the opportunities you create. The compounding effect doesn't negotiate. It rewards persistence and punishes neglect. Every day counts. Every action matters. Every small victory is a deposit into the life you want. So ask yourself, will you start today? Will you honor the small wins even when it feels insignificant? Will you persist even when the results are invisible? The answer determines your future. The compounding effect is waiting, silently multiplying every choice you make. Choose wisely. Commit fully. Act now. Before leaving today, remember this. Your life is the sum of your small wins and small losses. Each choice, each action, each decision compounds quietly, unseen, until it becomes unstoppable. No one else can do it for you. No one can take shortcuts that last. The results you want, the success, the health, the influence, the freedom, they are all built on the foundation of tiny, repeated victories. Picture the person who takes the stairs instead of the elevator, who saves a few dollars consistently, who reads a few pages each day, who speaks a kind word or makes a thoughtful gesture. Those actions, small as they seem, will grow into wealth, wisdom, and relationships that last. And the person who ignores them, who drifts, who waits for the perfect time or a big moment, will find the years slipping by without noticeable progress. It is your choice. You can drift, allowing life to shape you, or you can take control, shaping life with small wins. Consistency is the engine. Discipline is the fuel. Time is the multiplier. Each day you invest in small wins, your momentum grows. Each day you ignore them, the compounding effect works against you. So act now. Identify the small actions that matter most. Commit to them, track them, protect them from distraction. Treat them as sacred deposits into your life's account. Do this for months, years, decades, and watch as the compounding effect transforms you. You don't need luck. You don't need extraordinary talent. You need persistence, patience, and focus on the small wins that most people overlook. Today, take the first step. Decide on one small action, one habit, one win you can claim today. Do it and do it again tomorrow. Each repetition multiplies your results. Each day compounds your success. The life you dream of isn't built by chance. It is built by your consistent commitment to small wins. Your future is waiting. It will be shaped by the small choices you make right now. Commit, persist, act, and let the compounding effect carry you beyond what you ever imagined possible.